morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Marcus coming to you on a Friday. I am exhausted, but ready to do some math. Let's get to it. Let's do a tricky portions web problem. Now, we've been talking a lot about how to convert fractions into percents, percents into decimals, decimals into fractions. How can I take words and pictures and turn them into their representations of portions? I love doing these problems. They're little puzzles. And all we're doing is just how can I rewrite this, right? I'm not making up different portions, different amount of a total. So right here, I actually drew a picture of what 1/8 does look like. So as words or pictures, here we go. Here is what 1/8 does look like. We have one whole divided into 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if everybody shared that evenly, one whole divided by 8 people, everybody would get 1/8. So this is 1/8. Now, this red box here. If you believe me that 1 divided by 8 is 1/8, that's a great way that we could turn a fraction into a decimal. So if I can go ahead and divide 1 by 8, I can get our decimal. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1 divided by 8. You might say, Mr. Marcus, we can't do that. 8 doesn't divide evenly into 1, right? There's not enough stuff. Well, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We can take 1 whole and trade that in for 10 tenths. So even though we don't have anybody, 8 people can't each get a whole, right? They each get a piece of the whole. These 8 people can get some amount of tenths. So 8 goes into 10 twice. So everybody gets 2 tenths. Oh, it can go once. Crazy, Marcus. All right, it can go once. And that would mean everybody got 1/10. So there'd be 2 left over. And I'm going to take those 2 tenths and trade those 2 tenths in for 20 hundredths. And say we can share those 20 hundredths with the 8 people. And everybody would get 2 of those. Everybody would get 2 hundredths. And then we could say, well, that would be 16 that were passed out or shared. And that would leave us with 4 left over. So those 4 hundredths we could actually take and make thousandths. And we now have 40 thousandths. And 8 can go into 45 times. And that would be all 40. We don't have any more remaining here. So that's fabulous because right now we have our representation as a decimal. 1/8 is equivalent to 125 thousandths. So 125 thousandths. That is what 1/8 is equivalent to. Now, if I want to write this as a percentage, it's a little trickier because I know my percents are always out of 100. That's what the word percent means. Percents are always out of 100. So an equivalent fraction to this is 125 thousandths. So how can I take this and turn it into some amount of hundredths? Well, if you're saying, Mr. Marcus, we can use this giant 1. We can use this giant 1 to divide by 10. And we would get 12.5 hundredths, which would mean 12.5%. Now, if you remember from class yesterday, we talked about there's a little shortcut turning decimals into percents. And if you remember that we could move the decimal place once, move it twice. Whoa, weird. I don't know what that is. Let's get rid of that. All right. Move it once and move it twice, that our decimal would be 12.5%. So either way, that is our wonderful portions web. 1/8 is equivalent to 125 thousandths. We did that using division. And then from the decimal equivalent, we could turn it into a percent by either moving the decimal or by finding an equivalent fraction. 125 thousandths is the same thing as 12 hundredths and a half, 12 and a half hundredths. So 12.5%. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend.